I am live. So I'm live and I'm super excited and grateful about it. So today I wanted to just talk about my why. And let me get my notebook because I was actually in a Zoom meeting just a few minutes ago about that. And that was one of the things that we talked about was our whys. And so I wanted to come on and just talk about that a little bit because I know that it'll help other people too. Because y'all have been watching me long, y'all know that, I come on here and I talk about things that will help people because I really believe that, you know, that's what we need. And we need to help each other. It's what we need to do in this planet. So, welcome Instagram, welcome YouTube and Twitter. Thank you for joining me. Um, I actually was in Tony Robbins' 5-day challenge. This was the second day, and it was amazing. Um, I didn't think I would feel that way about it because I've actually followed him before, like years ago when he first started, probably. And I was young, but it was great. It was amazing. It was such a good thing, and it was like a couple of hours long. So I actually listened to it while I was in did my acupuncture. And I had my headset in, and I just listened to it. It was so good. So anyway, um, one thing I want to say is I really want you guys to start watching my show, Straight Out of Savannah. It is on multiauthor.com. Make sure you're checking it out because that network is about to blow up. It is going the way of HBO Max, Amazon, Netflix, Showtime, any of those other apps is going that way. And so I would advise you if you are looking to become the creator and the producer of your own show, I would advise you to join us at Mupo Entertainment. So if that is something that's been on your radar, you've been looking for, is 2022. And the good thing, the cool thing about this particular network is that it is you own your own stuff. So I don't know if you guys know, but when I think about this, I think about Ray Charles. Ray Charles owned his own masters, and I think it was another one. I think James Brown was like that too. But I know Ray Charles owned his own masters because I seen it in the movie and I read the book. But he owned his own masters, and so that is huge. A lot of these networks, I have to say, a lot of these networks hold you captive. And it's just like those of you that sell insurance. I sold insurance. I actually am looking to do that again with life. But so if any of you are doing life and we can do it virtually, that is what I'm looking for. So again, um, if you have in when you're in life insurance, wow, what the fuck? Thank you for doing that for me. Okay, so when you sell life insurance, if you work for a company, a lot of times there are companies that hold you captive. So basically, what that means is you can't work for any other place. So like you can't be a free agent, So if you're a free agent type, which is like me, hey, thank you for joining. Then you're not captive, so you can do anything that you want because I don't like to be captive. I'm a free spirit. Slavery was abolished way too many years ago. So um, that is what happens with networks. So if you want to be a creator, producer of your own show, and that's something that you've been thinking about, and you have ideas and all this stuff, join us. Join us. Mupo Entertainment, $7.99 for the year, and you'll be grandfathered in because the price is going up to 1,500. So I'm trying to get more people to join for the $7.99 price, which is still a steal when you think about the fact that some networks, hold you to, I think I looked into one network, they wanted $10,000 for the buy-in. This is $7.99, and then it'll go up to 1,500. And so I'm trying to see if I can get more people to join us and become creators and producers of their own show. Now, my show is a talk show straight out of Savannah. It's a talk show and it's amazing. It's in the tradition of Super Soul Sunday. meets Impact Theory with Tom Bilyeu. So I absolutely love the way their shows were designed, and so I created one just like mine, just like mine, just like that. So my show, Straight Out of Savannah, it is on mupotv.com. You can watch it on Saturday nights, well, Saturday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern time, which is 4 p.m. Pacific, which is where I am. So follow my show, Straight Out of Savannah. It is so amazing. I talk to people who are changing the planet. Some of you know, some of you may not know, but after you watch the show, you'll know them. So it's amazing. I love it. It's one of those things that lights me up. So one of the other things is I want to talk about my why. So my why is to be financially free because I want to be financially free. I don't want to worry about bills and shit and whether I'm going to have enough money to pay them and none of that kind of stuff. I'm done. And also to help women go from pain to purpose. So that is another thing that I am doing in my business. And my business is not only this talk show that I do on Mutual Entertainment, but I also am a publisher and I am helping people to publish their books. Also, I am just starting a new thing to help people to um, create ebooks for their business. So if you have a business and you're looking to create an ebook as a lead magnet or as an info thing for your clients. It'll help you to gain new clients, to get more exposure, all of those things. And so those are things that will help people, and that's something that I'm looking at. And so that's another thing. And then another thing is I am filling my multi-author book with chapters, Passing the Pearls. It's stories about our grandmothers, our ancestors. So it's amazing and I'm super excited. I cannot wait. So if you are a writer and you are looking to publish and become a best-selling author, that is an opportunity for you that I have. So again, it's Passing the Pearls and the stories about our grandmother. And the info sheet is here. That way you can see it's on the screen on YouTube and Twitter. And so this way you can look at the info session and see what's involved, what the contributor levels are, and all that kind of stuff, so that you won't be blindsided. And so once you look at that and you decide that you would like to participate, reach out to me, send me a private message on whatever platform you are watching this on, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. So join me there. I also have a club on Clubhouse, which I'm actually about to start really hitting hard. So I have a writing club on Clubhouse, and I would love it if you would join me there if you like to hang out in Clubhouse, because I'm going to start doing some things in there as well. So again, my why is because I want to be financially free, and I want to help women over 40 to go from pain to purpose, because that is something that I've done, that I did. And I just created something because it was what I wished was out there when I was looking, when I was in that place where I was in so much pain, didn't know what to do, trying to figure out where to go, what direction to go in. And that was something that helped me. So that's one of the things that I'm passionate about, is helping women, to go from pain to purpose, because I know how hard that is. I've been there. I have been there. So I'm going to read a little bit of my book. Thank you for joining Books for the Dog. I'm going to read a little bit of my book. This is the book that I'm reading from. That is me, of course. This is the book that I'm reading from. And that, of course, is me. All right, so I started reading yesterday. I'm going to read a little bit more. There was not much sleep that night and quite a few nights after, as I tried to process all that was on my mind, still not considering myself or well-being at all. I was so concerned with the fate of my husband. At times like these, hey, thank you for joining. At times like this, I wish I hadn't worked in the medical field for so long. It is difficult to have faith when you've seen so much. I was careful not to speak about what I saw in my mind's eye. Thank you for joining on Instagram. In my mind's eye, as it may not have been based on faith. We really tried to live our life faith-based. However, times like these really tested us. We spoke faith and taught our children to speak life to situations. Now, I'm going to explain that because I had somebody actually reach out to me that read this book that asked what does speaking life meant. And so my reply was speaking life means speaking things that make you live, not death. So instead of saying, okay, maybe you got cancer and you're going to die in 6 months. No, you're going to live. You're going to live. God is faithful. You're going to live. You can do this. And so these were things that, we shared and taught our children as well. And so thinking about the situation and what we may be faced with, this continued into the next day as sleep was evasive. Not knowing in so many ways prepared me for the journey. And that was something that, I always like to know things, but I didn't know a lot. I mean, there were so many variables at this time in this journey, and it actually prepared me because I think if I had known, I'd have been thinking about it and worrying about it and precipitating on it, and it just wasn't time to do that. It was time to just stand up, have faith, and do what needed to be done. We already had an appointment set for the next day with the doctor. I tried not to think about outcomes. I tried to be reassuring to my husband and be supportive of him. I honestly couldn't imagine what was going on inside of his head. I knew as a wife to him, I had to take the high road and help him navigate what was likely to be a precarious adventure. We began to get ready to go to the doctor to see if this was a bad dream or a nightmare. Putting one foot in front of the other, we made our way through our morning, played with breakfast, had coffee, and started toward the office. This doctor also was a resident when I worked at the trauma center. He recognized me when we got to his office. As we shared the discharge paper with him, he asked questions that no other provider had asked, like about the symptoms that Matt had. Matt told him about the joint pain he had been having since the year before and also what they prescribed him. The doctor examined him and talked about the thrush in his mouth and the other presumptive signs. He drew blood and joked with us that it may possibly be nothing. I looked at his face and knew, because I'm intuitive as hell, y'all, and I've always been. I looked at his face and knew it was something, not nothing. I searched his feelings and found him compassionate, especially when he realized he and Matt worked out at the same gym and were the same age. I looked on his face and saw he was indeed concerned. He knew what it was and didn't want to face it either. Processing this visit was difficult because it seemed like it was only prolonging the obvious. I don't know what I wanted to happen. It was such an awkward time. I do remember Dr. Scott telling Matt he would do 3 lab tests and they would be able to have some answers afterwards. I stole a look at Dr. Scott and realized he already knew the answers. We left the office and went to get some lunch. I didn't feel like eating, but Matt was ravenous, as usual. I just added that. We went to our favorite lunch place downtown and ate from a small buffet. The food is always amazing, and it was Friday's seafood buffet, so that made it even more special. Seafood is my very favorite thing to eat, but on this day, however, I just picked up my food. I had lost my sense of taste. After we had lunch, we spent time walking on that beautiful last day of August. It was so rare to have a day you could take a walk at that time of the year. It was usually hot, sticky, and balmy in August in South Carolina. But this particular day was an exceptionally cool, beautiful day, which should have told us something. We walked downtown and took a stroll to the art museum. We went in and looked at some of the exhibits. I think subconsciously we knew we needed to take our minds off the whole testing situation and chill. I was stuck in my head thinking of how, if, and when to tell the children the news was what we knew was the case. I didn't think it was proper to advise our children at the tender age they were. The children were preteens and as such still had their youthful zeal. I really didn't want them to have to grow up as much as they would have to if we shared the secret. We rode back home, lost in our own silent thoughts. The silence was almost deafening. I couldn't help but think how utterly useless this whole scenario was. I knew you couldn't change the past just because you want a different future outcome. However, I didn't see the harm in dreaming or even wishing. I couldn't help thinking of all the times he had left me to go see other women. It was not lost on me times I saw him in dreams with other women. I thought about the times one of his whores called out my name on the phone. The time one of his women stopped me at my gym was unforgettable. And the time he asked me for a divorce when I was 8 months pregnant with our youngest baby was truly unforgettable and unforgivable time. And when we arrived home, our children had gotten home. I considered speaking with them, but I thought better. I knew they noticed their dad was sick. Nevertheless, I told them Daddy has pneumonia. This satisfied them, but being the inquisitive children I had encouraged them to be, they searched on Google about pneumonia and were reasonably satisfied that their dad would live another day. I was happy with their perspective, and for the time being, it allows me to think about how life as we knew it was over. All right, so that is the end of what I'm going to read today. I appreciate all of you hanging out with me. Thank you so much. It's been a blast. I always love to read, and I wanted to share, just a little bit more from that book. And I'll share a little bit more probably tomorrow, maybe. I don't know, because tomorrow seems like a really busy day for me. And actually, is the day I go back to work, the night I go back to work. So I try not to do a whole lot on that day. But I may come in just for a few minutes and read a little bit more if you would join me. So, again, thank you so much for joining me. If you would like to check out the info sheet on Passing the Pearls, it is on the screen. I'll put it in the comments on Instagram. So that's there. If you would like to check that out, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really, truly appreciate it. It's been a blast as it always is, and we will do it again tomorrow. If you know some people that are interested in writing a chapter in this book, you can write from 1,000 to 3,000 words, so it will really be simple. And I will go over, there'll be all kinds of training as well on how to get this book to bestseller, how to get this book to help you to build your business better, to get you more visibility, and also the people that are in um, the book, I'm inviting to come on my show and do an interview on my show. So that's another thing that I am doing for the contributors. So if you contribute, then you'll come on my show and you can share about your business and whatever else other things that you would like to talk about. So again, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate all of you, and I do not take your time for granted. If you are watching and you catch the replay, make sure you hit hashtag replay depending on where you are watching. If you're watching on Instagram, any other place, I would love it if you would comment. I will definitely go back and read the comments as well. So, again, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I would love it if you would join me. And if you're a business owner and you would like to talk about doing an ebook for your business, that will be an incredible lead magnet, a visibility piece for your business. So, again, thank you for hanging out, and we can talk about what that looks like to you. Just send me a message or comment below wherever you're watching, and we'll talk later. So, thank you so much for joining me. This was Tammy Morrison of Unleashing Your True Self, your premier publisher and energy healer. Thank you so much for joining. Bye now.